May your heart be your guiding key.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ronan Lockhart and this is Hipstyle Gaming. Hope everyone is having a good day/week so far. Happy official New Year, second month of the year. Hope everyone is staying safe amidst these crazy times we are unfortunately living in, but you know, positivity, optimism, Hakuna Matata, guys. So, as we know, there was a huge reveal in Kingdom Hearts, and it's been found out that Brain may in fact actually be an ancestor of ERAQUS, or at least it seems that way. We all know by now that nothing is ever the way it seems with Kingdom Hearts, okay? So, everyone was initially hype off this theory when Brain was introduced into this series, mainly due to his looks and other similarities to ERAQUS. Me personally, I thought ERAQUS was a descendant of Master Ava for other reasons that I mentioned in another video. I will leave a link to that in the description box below if anyone is interested in taking a gander at that. But now, guys, I've come to an even bigger conclusion on just exactly who Brain really is. Brace yourselves because it's about to get crazy. If you are new to the channel, please leave a like and subscribe to help the channel keep going. My 2021 goal this year is to get 1K followers or more, and to do that, I'm gonna need your help, guys. So yeah, help a fellow Keyblade wielder out, please. Help a fellow Dandelion out. But no more talking, guys. It's time for the theory. Hype is real. Go. So by now it's safe to assume that most of you have seen the new Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Story mobile update. And for those who haven't, spoilers ahead, mi amigos, so leave now or otherwise sorry. But it's been revealed who or what exactly Darkness is, and amidst this reveal, Brain actually revealed his Keyblade. And yes, everyone went batshit crazy when he summoned the Master's Defender. Now, when a lot of people seen this, they instantly were on the Brain is the ancestor of ERAQUS train thing, but when I saw it in a different way, and I'm just gonna flat out say it. Brain is in fact ERAQUS, okay? Yes, guys, some more time traveling stuff is going on, and I'm gonna explain it, or at least attempt to explain it. No, I'm gonna explain it. Okay, I'm gonna explain it. So, how exactly is this possible? Or, you know, how did this happen? Well, remember in the last story, or a couple of last story updates, when it showed the 5 pods in Hollow Bastion, and it was later revealed that Maleficent used one of those pods to get to the real world from the data world? Well, there you guys go. There you go, guys. It's right there. The 5 pods, then Lorium, Scold, Ephemer, Brain. They traveled using these pods, but just to different time zones, or at least time periods, I guess you could say. But they all hid their identities, including ERAQUS, okay? Now, I know when I at least went back and looked at it, you know, it was initially 5 pods, but I guess you can say Maleficent taking one would make it 4 pods. So then it would be like, okay, well, who would be the one that would stay behind? Because it's 5 of them, 4 pods, one of them would ultimately have to stay behind. I'm gonna put my money on the one that stayed behind. It would actually be Ephemer, who stayed behind and is, you know, helping everybody as time changes along in his universe, okay? Let me continue on with, you know, why I'm suspect on ERAQUS, though. So, proof of ERAQUS, or Brain being ERAQUS, is the conversation between young Xehanort and ERAQUS. We know now that ERAQUS and Xehanort met in Scala, and both are training, but we also know Xehanort's story in the fact that he has certain information and insight in regards to the future and the past. But after watching the new Union Cross update and then pairing it along with the next video that I'm about to show you guys, which we all have seen before, I'm starting to suspect ERAQUS is indeed Brain and is time traveling, okay? Take a look at this segment.
Have you heard of the ancient Keyblade War?
Huh? Of course I have.
Long ago, Keyblade wielders waged a war over the ownership of light.
Yeah, the Master's favorite story.
I wonder what they planned on doing with Kingdom Hearts after making it appear.
Who knows? I don't get why anyone would initiate a war.
So, you know the Lost Masters?
Who?
They're the ones who started the Keyblade War.
Never heard of them. Where'd you hear about that?
Or they're the ones for whom the war started.
I'm not following you.
You can drop the facade.
So as you see in this scene, Xehanort is asking ERAQUS some pretty deep questions, but do you guys see the context in which he is asking ERAQUS? He's asking ERAQUS in the context of ERAQUS already knows or should already know, like, what are you hiding type way, okay? And we do know what ERAQUS says all the time is there's more to light than meets the eye. I mean, we remember that whole little cheating chessboard scene he did. I can never get over that. Like, he just literally cheated. That's like somebody playing Super Smash Brothers with you and you're about to win, and he pulls out the controller and he's like, yeah, see? I told you there's like more to light than meets the eye. Like, no, that's BS, man, you know? So he proved that he was steps ahead of Xehanort, or he's always been steps ahead of Xehanort, at least it seems like that. We've also seen that in, you know, Kingdom Hearts 3 when he made a random appearance, you know, from Terra's heart or body. The point is, there really is more to light than meets the eye, but with ERAQUS, just how much more? Well, another bit of evidence that ERAQUS is hiding something or isn't who he says he is found in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. When he's having the conversation with Baldur, Baldur mentions how ERAQUS' ancestor fought against the darkness, but then ERAQUS kind of just shies away from the question and changes the subject. Why? What is ERAQUS not telling everyone? We know that Kingdom Hearts characters are prone to hiding secrets. I mean, look at King Mickey. You know, he hid from Sora and Riku that, you know, Aqua was pretty much trapped in the realm of darkness for, you know, Lord knows how long. Well, you know, so what is it that ERAQUS is not telling everybody? I know what it is. And, well, in fact, I 100% know what it is. It's the fact that he's Brain and is on a secret mission. And that mission is to find the source of darkness in time and try to stop it from spreading. In the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross story update, you see how Brain is questioning darkness? He's talking to it in a way as if he's gathering info or gathering intel. But for who? Himself, but just in another timeline or time zone, one where these events have yet to transpire and can possibly be stopped. Think of it along the lines of Rick and Morty, and I use Rick and Morty as a comparison, you know, quite a lot because it was revealed that the creators of Rick and Morty are indeed Kingdom Hearts fans. There was an episode of Rick and Morty where Rick was reminding himself to do a certain task so that the way past version of himself would remember, thus altering the events of the future.
Making it! I'm gonna have to invent it for them? I don't know snake math. I didn't want to have to do this. Alright.
What's going on? What are you doing?
I'm reminding myself to commit even more to your up. Hey, assholes. You. Takes one to know one.
What the heck? Hey, man, you okay?
What you?
What? Screw you.
Here. Come on, was it really that hard? What do you think? Come on, Morty.
This would make a lot of sense why in Birth by Sleep, ERAQUS did not want to let Ventus out of his sight, because his past version gave him insight on Ven. What insight? That poor old Ventus is the boy mentioned in the Book of Prophecy, and he's pretty much, you know, the boy destined to be the harbinger of darkness. So ERAQUS, aka Brain, would have to keep a close eye on Ventus to make sure that these events would not repeat, subsequently causing the events to happen anyways, you know, because we've seen his actions in Birth by Sleep, you know, and we're going on the notion that we're playing the timeline that, you know, is kind of fucked up and don't know they're in a time loop, etc., you know. So, summary, after the events of Ephemer and the gang encountering darkness, something happens where darkness may escape or possibly beat them, and, you know, he uses the time pods to go, or it uses the time pods to go into, you know, a different time period, you know, maybe even the future. Brain and the gang would be unsure of where it goes exactly, and they would all travel to different points in time to try and find it and extinguish it. Brain would travel to the point where he meets Xehanort in Scala, and, you know, thus, you know, would become ERAQUS and would start training to be a Keyblade wielder. Now, that probably seems a little bit confusing because it seems like, you know, at this point of time, you know, when Xehanort does meet, you know, ERAQUS kind of has quite a extensive amount of knowledge, you know, about the Keyblade. But I, you know, kind of dim that down to two things, and it's either A, ERAQUS is, you know, pretending, like I've been saying, he's pretending the whole time, or B, ERAQUS, you know, has amnesia, kind of the way Laurium, Ven, and Skull had amnesia too. I'm kind of putting it on the chalkboard as, you know, when they use those time pods, it kind of maybe affected and messed with their memory, because, you know, either A, maybe they're so young, or B, they're inexperienced Keyblade wielders, or C, it has something to maybe do with, it is completely up in there. We don't know what it is, but I'm just gonna go on the notion of it being, the fact that they were so young and it maybe took a big toll on them, that possibly caused them to have amnesia. So Vin, Scold, and Laurium would travel to the point of birth by sleep, but Scold and Laurium would get separated from Vin, and Vin would wind up in Xehanor's possession, who would by this point be tainted by darkness, possibly the same darkness that troubled ERAQUS, aka Brain, in the past. As we see, he sees the darkness in Dark Road behind the Queen of Hearts when he's standing there talking to the Queen of Hearts. This would trigger the set of events that befall Vin in Birth by Sleep, and explain why Xehanort pretty much had him, because it never really touched on how him and Xehanort wound up in each other's presence. That would mean that darkness is acting on its own. Darkness has an ultimate plan. It orchestrated all of this. Darkness orchestrated it to where they would all go to the future. Amnesia, lead up to Xehanort having Vin, and it's crazy when you think about it. Scold would wind up in the possession of Ansem the Wise and would become Subject X, and Laurium would continue on his mission in secrecy, leading up to the point where he meets Sora and recovers his memories. He possibly was actually looking for his friends, as we see he becomes Marluxia, and he's ahead of Castle Oblivion, and as we know, Ventus was hid in Castle Oblivion by Master Aqua. That's a pretty big coincidence if you ask me. And as I said before, if one of them did have to stay behind, because as I mentioned, I looked at the pods, and Maleficent took one and it would make it 4 pods instead of 5. If one person did have to stay behind, that person would be Ephemer, and he would just control the events, from where he is, because it seems like they help the area that they're in, or their world that they're in, holds like quite a bit of power over the future timeline. So Ephemer, would hold some type of control in, keeping everything maintained. We know he has something to do with the future, because we see him actually come in clutch and save Sora at the end, using the light from the past. I guess you can call it in ERAQUS' words. But yeah, moral of the story, Brain is ERAQUS, and he is time traveling to possibly correct the events to come, or to stop them completely. He's okay with being the virus in this system. Another bit of evidence can actually be found in Dark Road 2, when they're all having, or when ERAQUS, Xehanort, and the other classmates are all having, the conversation in regards to darkness. And as you can tell on ERAQUS' reaction, he is not, cool with darkness at all. Like, he tells Xehanort flat out, darkness is darkness, So the main question everybody could ask now is, well, if that's the case, how exactly does Sora play into this? My answer? You'll just have to wait until my Sora is the Master Part 4 video drops, February 11th, to find out. I originally planned it for the 6 guys, but due to other business ventures erupting, I kinda had to push it back. Hope you guys can forgive me, but it is in fact coming. And if you want to hear it and get to know exactly how Sora became the Master of Masters, and watch me point out other bits and pieces that we miss in Kingdom Hearts, you might want to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. So until next time, guys, I've been Ronan Lockhart, and I'll see you all later. May your hearts be your guiding key.